Hello and welcome back to Sunny Talk Spurs, and today we're going to be answering the question, which midfielder should Spurs be signing? But before we get into this one, if you are new to the channel, why don't you leave a like on the video, subscribe to Sunny Talk Spurs and hit that notification bell because it will let you know when I've gone live. And also, if you are new around here and want to become a member on the channel, the link will be in the description down below. For a small monthly fee, you can become a member of Sunny Talk Spurs, and with that, you get exclusive access to my podcast called Nice One, Sunny, and get your questions in the comments down below because you can get involved with that. I want more fan involvement in the podcast, and Q&A sessions will be going out soon. So yeah, get involved, but let's now head into this episode where I'm going to be talking about midfielders who Spurs are looking at and could potentially sign. So the January transfer window is coming to a close. Deadline day is this week. So I've been collating some names that I've seen on Twitter and other social media who have been linked with Tottenham Hotspur. Some more likely than others, but you know what it's like with the rumour mill. You can never judge stuff at face value. You sort of have to make your own assessment and wait for reliable sources to talk about these names. But, you know, to add a bit of context, obviously we all know Tottenham have signed two players so far this window. They've signed Timo Werner on loan from RB Leipzig and Radu Drăgușin on a permanent from Genoa. Obviously, Drăgușin being a defender that we desperately needed, and Timo Werner plugging a gap in the forward line, which is something we will revisit in the summer transfer window, you know, when you've got more funds available. And, you know, I always prefer the summer transfer window to the January transfer window, and I'm surprised Tottenham have done business yet again. A couple of years in a row they've now used the January transfer market to their advantage. But now midfielders are on the agenda because there's been, you know, it hasn't been the priority signing for Tottenham, and you can tell by the names I'm going to mention. And personally, I don't think we are going to make a midfield signing before the end of the window. I mean, clip this up if it does happen. I will eat that humble pie. But it will be something in the summer, definitely. But for the time being, the names are being touted, but they are looking more like potential summer moves because of certain factors. You know, I'm looking at a list in front of me right now of all the current midfielders at Tottenham. We've got Ollie Skipp, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, Yves Bissouma, James Maddison, Giovanni Lo Celso, Ryan Sessegnon counts as a midfielder apparently, Dejan Kulusevski is like a midfield forward, Sarr, Rodrigo Bentancur. So looking at that list, you can see that, you know, some players, you know, they're not going to stay at the club. I'm looking at your Højbjergs in the future. Skipp is one on the, you know, he's on the fence. Sessegnon will be moved on, but I think he's more of a winger. According to ESPN, he's a midfielder. You know, each their own. But, you know, looking at that as well with this tweet on screen right now, you can see that, according to Florian Plettenberg, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg has decided to stay at Tottenham this winter. He has rejected all offers. So we still are in that case where, and I've mentioned it before on the channel, we need to move players on before we sign anymore, and that's why I keep mentioning the summer transfer window until we shift a player like Højbjerg or like Skipp, or sort out certain players that we currently have at the club. You know, a few out on loan as well. There's not going to be much going on. You know, summer again has to be sell before we buy, I believe. You know, and you've got to do that. A lot of clubs are doing that in regard to FFP, but we need to still shift a lot of that deadwood. So that's what I found quite interesting looking at that to start. But there's three names, and you've probably seen who they are in regards to the thumbnail. And I'm going to start with the obvious. I'm treading over all the ground again. It's going to start with Conor Gallagher, still being linked ahead of the January deadline day this week. And we all know my thoughts on it. I've done so many videos. I'll link the video above my head right now. But Conor Gallagher, still not sold on him, not warming to it at all, because for the price that you're going to pay, and I've seen some quote of 80 million, which I think is absolutely like crazy money. 80 million. I thought about 50 was too much, but 80 million? Surely not. But I don't see Chelsea selling in this window either. I just think, you know, too much. Maybe in the summer we revisit again, but that'll be a whole year that we've been looking into Conor Gallagher. So I don't see it happening this January, and it could be a thing that gets revisited again in the summer. But again, I'm not for this one. I don't like the move, and yeah, I just feel like this is one where it's still got so many question marks over it. I just don't really know. But as I say, I've said about Conor Gallagher many times before, so go back and watch that video if you want to see more of an in-depth discussion about that. But next up, a very surprising name, and it sort of relates to the Conor Gallagher news because he's mentioned in the tweet that I found about it. It's Bayern Munich midfielder Yoshua Kimmich. Yeah, I'm as surprised as you when I saw this, and I still, I'm not believing it whatsoever. It's from Footy Insiders, and I can't say they have an amazing track record, but the tweet read that, just in, Tottenham Hotspur could make a move for Bayern Munich midfielder Joshua Kimmich this month if they fail to land Conor Gallagher from Chelsea during the final days of the January transfer window. Now, Kimmich has been linked with moves to Manchester City and Liverpool, which seem more reliable. I mean, Liverpool maybe not so much now they've lost Jurgen Klopp, but he would be perfect for them in their 6th position, I believe. Manchester City, I mean, imagine him in their midfield linking up with Pep Guardiola as well would be fantastic. 28 years old, I mean, he would be a stellar signing, but I just don't believe it would happen. Bayern really he doesn't want to stay there. I'm not sure about the ins and outs on why he is being touted away with moves, but us and Bayern have a weird relationship at the moment. Obviously the Kane saga, Eric Dyer went there as well, but we beat them to the signing of Radu Drăgușin. So again, this is surprising. Don't think it would happen. Think it's just a name that's been attached to us, like when we were linked to Mbappe weirdly last year. Just do not believe it at all. Can't see it happening now. Can't see it happening in the summer. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I've even mentioned it. You could say, people probably say that in the comments down below, but I thought it was funny and I wanted to put them in the thumbnail. So there you go. And finally, a move that I think's better than Conor Gallagher. I am actually really intrigued about this one with us being linked to him. And it's Aston Villa midfielder, young midfielder, Jacob Ramsey. And the tweet read on this that Newcastle United have made an approach for Aston Villa's Jacob Ramsey, although unless they manage to achieve a significant sale, he is likely to be beyond reach. Tottenham and Bayern Munich are also among the sides who have made their admiration for Ramsey clear. If Villa opt to let him leave, they will not be short of takers. And that was David Ornstein on the interest in Aston Villa's Jacob Ramsey for The Athletic. So yeah, I really like this move. I think he would be perfect for Tottenham and Ange Postecoglou. He would be perfect in that 8 role where, we're looking at a midfielder who is versatile. He, was on a great run of goals and assists a couple of seasons ago. I should know a lot about him because, I spend a lot of time at Talk with Gabby Bonahor and he is always singing his praises. Fits the English quota. Something I haven't mentioned yet. I mentioned that with Conor Gallagher, hence why we keep going in, but this would seem like, would also tick that. I also think he'd be a little bit cheaper. I think Villa would want about 30, 35, maybe 40 at a push, but I think he has more potential than Conor Gallagher. And I don't know if that sounds a bit crazy, but yeah, I don't know why he and Aston Villa maybe Aston Villa sell if they get a good fee, and their midfield is quite interesting at the moment. They've already got John McGinn, Douglas Luiz, Boubacar Kamara, so maybe he doesn't fit in their plans. Maybe he's not the perfect Unai Emery player. But yeah, I really like this move. And, Newcastle United, we battled them for James Maddison and beat them on that front. Bayern Munich again, obviously, why is their name just constantly linked with us? It is frustrating. But, Newcastle have to sell before they buy, whereas we're quite in the clear. I don't see this happening, though, this window. I would see this probably happening further down the line in the summer. And as I say, midfield in general, I think it's going to be a summer thing more than January. I don't think Ange Postecoglou, Daniel Levy, Scott Munn, Johan Lange want to be looking at players now in the sense of get them in now. They want to be settled. So that's why summer, you saw how early we did a lot of our business in the summer last year. That's more settled and more Ange Postecoglou's style. I think getting a midfielder now in the final days of the window, I don't think it would cause much upheaval, but it's harder for them to transition. And now, we've got Maddison coming back. We've got Sarr and Basuma will be back from AFCON soon. I I don't see a midfielder being the priority right now still. It's going to be a summer project. And as I keep saying, we need to shift some players. So, yeah. And speaking of shifting players, coming up soon in February, I'm going to do a massive keep, sell, loan for Tottenham Hotspur. I did one ages ago, tier list style, when I started the channel, but I think we're due another one after the January transfer window slams shut. So let me know in the comments down below, what do you make of these 3 midfield signings? I'd actually like to get you in the comments being like 1, 2, 3, rank them on who you'd like more. I'd say, you know, Jacob Ramsey, Joshua Kimmich, Conor Gallagher, but, you know, likeliness of Kimmich is not possible, really. So, yeah, let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. And as I said at the top of the video, if you have enjoyed this, leave a like on the video. Subscribe to Sunny Talk Spurs and hit that notification bell because it'll let you know when I've gone live. And also, in the link in the description down below, you can become a member of Sunny Talk Spurs and you get an exclusive weekly podcast. I said it was going to be going out on Tuesday. It's now going out on Thursday. Had a little bit of a reshuffle of my upload schedule. So yeah, stay tuned for that if you are a member and want to support the channel. But until then, look forward to my reaction to the Brentford game and I'll speak to you guys very soon, and a ciao.